he says that he sees the healthcare reform law as a novel extension of Congress's constitutional powers. That's a pretty interesting statement.
Well, it is. When Virginia is different from the other states in this respect, it actually enacted legislation that says if you live in Virginia, nobody can force you to buy anything.
Right.
So there's a direct conflict between the Virginia law and the federal law. This is not just an attorney general deciding he doesn't like the federal law. This is the legislature of the state enacting legislation that's 180 degrees from the federal law, and so a federal judge has to decide. The federal government said the Attorney General's lawsuit in Virginia was frivolous and had procedural obstacles and was obviously going to lose.
Right.
And a federal judge said, you're wrong on all counts. It's not frivolous. There are no procedural obstacles. And without ruling on the case yet, they have a very good chance because Congress did something here it has never done in 230 years, forced individual people to buy something that they may not want or need.
Yeah, it's fascinating because he's basing this on congressional powers. He's just saying, what is Congress allowed to do under the Constitution?
Right.
We all know Congress has the power of the purse. But so far, as you point out, Congress has never been given the right to say, you must buy a blue car. You must buy health care insurance. It's a very interesting argument. How do you think ultimately it's going to hold up?
Congress's favorite clause in the Constitution, the one it cites whenever it wants to regulate anything, is the Interstate Commerce Clause.
Right.
That clause was written to make sure that commerce between the states was kept regular. For example, New York couldn't impose a tariff on goods coming from New Jersey or Pennsylvania and vice versa. Congress has taken that, and many Supreme Courts have let them do it and blown it way out of proportion and used it to regulate anything that might affect interstate commerce. But in this case, where Congress is saying we're going to force you to engage in interstate commerce, like saying because the sun causes skin cancer, we're going to make you buy and wear a hat. It has never done this before. I think this judge will invalidate this portion of the legislation. I think that will be upheld by the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals and by the Supreme Court of the United States.
And we'll see. That would be fascinating. And we'll see what kind of implications it may have for these other 20 states that are filed jointly in Florida. And all of this may play out right in the shadow of the fall elections, which would be quite interesting as well.
Yes, it will. Politics and law at the intersection in this Virginia courtroom.